There we go.
Woo!
Hi.
Hey.
We're still
Hello.
jamming.
The
Right?
music is so chill.
Good. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Home Assistant Release Party 2025.3. That means it's March. It means that we are doing our third release already of this year, which is wild because we're only 2 months in, really, right?
Wow.
Busy. Before we get started, let's do a quick round of intros just so that you know the names, the faces. My name is Paulus Schoutse. I'm the founder of Home Assistant.
Hi, my name's Madeline. I'm the product and design team lead for Home Assistant.
I'm Missy. I'm your community manager and social media manager and occasional shit poster in Discord.
Thanks for that subtitle.
I had to get it for you since you called me out last time.
Okay, let's go. This is going well.
I'm Paul, and I'm a front-end developer on the Home Assistant app.
All right, and I'm Frank. I'm the engineering lead of the Home Assistant project.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're all complete.
Yeah. Frank, you have a new background. What's up with that?
Oh, it's like don't be fooled. Like I can pull it down. It's just it's a green screen though. Like don't don't. But
Okay.
it's my actual desk though. So it's actually where I'm
Right,
sitting
that's why I
at
was
right now.
confusing
So
how? Okay.
you must be confused. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Good.
We are looking at your desk,
yeah, it can be a
Yeah.
mirror.
Exactly. This is like a true confusing. Yes, it
Hey,
is.
I hear some people saying there's a lot of echo.
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 Yeah.
Echo.
Which one
Leo?
of us?
It's me.
I don't know. Is it Paul?
We could blame him.
If we
Yeah,
mute
I'm
Paul,
normally not the one with echo.
I just mute Paul. Is it now better? That's the question. It's not
Oh,
okay.
sounds like I'm in submarine. Oh, really? Damn. Okay. I'm sorry. That's the best I
Sorry
can
for
do.
that.
I mean, a submarine. Look, it's called Iceland. It's like
Yeah.
They're about the same size as a submarine.
it's
I'm
cold.
in the middle of nowhere right now, just yelling at the great beyond.
Good. Hey, we
Right.
have a great release prepared, and there's a lot of stuff in it. So
Oh,
should we
yeah.
just dive in and get started with the release?
Yeah, we
Sure.
should. It's a lot, and it's a lot of visual, and hence we have both Madalena and Paul here because there's a lot of UI stuff to discuss, right?
Yeah.
And, well,
Yep.
let's dive in. Let's show. Do we just dive into somebody's instance and then do a live demo out of the bat, or?
Yeah, we can tell a little bit of story first if my microphone
Sure.
is okay.
Go. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So last year, by the end of the year, we were doing a lot of work on voice, right? We have the voice PE. We did the backups, and for a while we put dashboards on hold, but now we are back to dashboards now. So we are finishing up the last remaining item that was on the roadmap for us for dashboards, which is to make default dashboards more relevant and useful out of the box. What that means is, well, right now, the dashboard, when you just load up Home Assistant, is still just a big list of every single entity you have on your instance. But what we want to do is to really make it like easier for people to get results right away. So we want to make sure that people who have like dashboards of the area generated automatically, dashboards of like an overview of the entire home generated automatically. So we want things to be more easily configurable and don't need like an expert to just create a ton of dashboards that are like powerful and can inform you everything that's going on in your household. So we are building a lot of foundation work for that. And this month, you've seen some of the work that starts coming out.
Good. So I'm super stoked because like we hit sections out of experimental, like when was it? November release, December
Yeah.
release,
November.
something like this.
Yeah, November. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We keep building on top of it, and there's just a lot more that we want to build. And this release is part of it.
Mhm. Yeah, we done a lot of work last year, right, from sections and tile cards, and there's more tile card improvement this month. And you see there'll be more features that is related to what the ultimate dashboards that we want to look like. And you see some of the features that's coming in, and you can start adding it to your own dashboards as well.
All right, so demo time, I think, Paul.
Yeah.
Show it. Come on.
Can share my screen.
Who made this banner actually? Was it you, Madalena, or Missy?
Yeah, I like the
You did.
pizza.
It was Madalena. Yeah, it was great.
I will share my screen. Yeah,
Post demo.
you just have to focus. Yeah, nice.
Cool. All right, that's a new dashboard. No, just kidding. You don't see anything new that's added yet. But this is what the dashboard currently kind of look like, right?
Yeah, and should we start with the difference than that we can have here? If you look at so I will start with the beginning. So now the default dashboard, when you create a manual view, a manual dashboard, it will be ordered by section. You have different sections, and you can change title. You can put card in it, and the card that I use it is a tile card, and it's a very versatile card. Like you can mostly do anything you want in it. This card adapts itself to the entity you put in. So you will have different features according to the entity that is inside. And the big difference that you can see in this screen is that we now have circle for the icon here, like we have a background circle, so it's a button, and here it's not a button, because in the previous release we had like circle everywhere, and it was confusing for users to know if you can click on the icon or if you cannot click on the icon. So if I click here, I can turn on my light, but if I click here, I cannot change the mode of my alarm directly. It will do nothing. It will just open the more info like I click here. So that's the first change we did in this in the dashboard with a tile.
For me, this is such a cool feature because
Yeah.
I found it always so confusing that if you had a sensor with a temperature on your dashboard, you still had the idea you could click on it at times, for example, to change the temperature. Well, you couldn't. It was just a temperature, not a thermostat or something. I really enjoy this little change because it's very, very clear which icons are clickable and do something. I love
Yeah.
that.
But one of the things, by the way, I like about this is the new tabbing of it, right? Like the way you can kind of go over it. With, I don't know if that's already like this is. I love this. This is so good.
Yeah,
Keyboard
like,
navigation.
We already have it before, but we make it more intuitive with the same outline for every part. Like if you use the tab, you can just focus the tile in the right order, and you see that the icon is not focused because it's not a clickable icon.
You know, notice how the color of the outline changes with the tile card and matches exactly what's in there. I like those little touches. I find that so cool. Thank you for that. That is just beautiful.
Yeah, and it helps a lot for accessibility because for some people that cannot use a mouse, you should be able to toggle your light. You should be able to use a regular dashboard. Yeah.
A small call out because Madalena just dropped off. Everybody's watching. There's also comments in the chat. Madalena is currently traveling, so it's nice for her to be able to join and at least explain some of the background things and the design decisions made. But her connection and computer capacity right now is a little bit limited. So is her microphone right now because she has to deal with the equipment she has while traveling. So please bear with us while this happens. She might drop on and off, and it's okay. But it's nice that she's here while she can. Just to call out what's happening.
Yeah,
All right,
also
continue, sorry, Paul.
we also improve the small animation. Like if you hover the icon, now you have this color change. If you click on it, it will increase. And same, we have the ripple effect here, and
So nice.
It's like that little effect, like on a mobile, you feel it, right? If you push a button on mobile, you will feel a little like a vibration on your phone that you actually touched it, right? That you successfully pushed it. On a desktop computer, you don't have that. So those little animations really help with getting the confirmation across, basically, right?
Yeah.
And on a phone, those animations are under your fat finger, right? Like you don't even see them.
Yeah,
That's what
big
that
fingers.
haptic feedback is important too.
I was gonna say my husband has some big sausage fingers that he has problems with touch screens sometimes, and we blame it on that. So no, absolute real problem.
Yeah, and also for the icon, it's not it's linked to the interaction you configure to the tap behavior. Like if you put a toggle, it will be like this. But if you decide to put none because you don't like this behavior, it will just disappear. And if you put a custom action on a sensor, you will have the circle. Like it's based on the action is configured. We have default, like all the light switch fan are toggle by default, but all the other entity will do nothing, and it's up to you to configure what you want. And we don't want to put it for every entity by default, because if you have a garage door, for example, or a lock, it's not predictable. You don't know what it will do if you click on it, and for security device, we don't want to put that by default. Yeah. So if you want, you can put it, but and you will directly see it.
Yeah, accidentally unlocking your garage, unlocking your door, or opening your garage door because you're scrolling and you wait a little too long. No bueno.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the things is like Paul said, recognition over recall, and like I think that there's a lot of different designs for cards and like UI out there for like Home Assistant, but what we're trying to do right now is to standardize it so that people know what is clickable and what is not clickable. And user experience design, we call it affordance. I want to show a little bit of our user test that we did previously. So we last year we sent out a test and have people try to click on different areas of the tile card and ask them what happens when you tap there. So we try to make sure that like if people really understand what the circle really means. Like originally the circle looks cool, right? It looks makes a very neat appearance, but the behavior is not consistent. So yeah, we have people like ask them what if click on the empty area, what would happen? A lot of people think that it will open more info. Some people think that it acts as a slider as well. So, and if people click on just the circle, a lot of people know that it's about turning on and off the light. So there's a general consensus in the way that a solid area is something that you can tap on and you can interact with. So the ultimate decision that we make is that even though it sometimes like it doesn't look as cool as the original mushroom card concept where everything has like a circle icon, this is better for the user experience for like any of the other users in the household if they never used the Home Assistant app before. Now at least they can catch up and understand what is tappable and what would happen if they tap on something right away.
We've been doing a lot more of these studies, right? I think Matthias yesterday just posted one on Reddit about like the direction we're going for automation. So if you're interested in that, you should check out the post either on the community forums or on Reddit. Which it's been cool because we've been doing some mock-ups and some testing, and everybody just loves it. Everybody's just like, ship it. Wow, I want it now. And so
Those
That's
mock-ups are darn good, though.
they are.
I'm so excited, but those are not shared yet. By the way, Paul. Once again, like I don't. But we were now talking about the conceptual things, and those are definitely interesting. That Matthias pointed out. I'm truly excited about that part, actually. But today we'll stick with dashboards for now.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely try to like interact more with our users and like just like try to test out designs before we release them. Yeah, so this is the thread that we were talking about. That's the make automation creation easier. If you're curious what the direction is, there's some cool prototype stuff there, and yeah, take a look at it and respond to the thread.
Yeah, I think it would be. We still need to find like a nice, like I don't know, like a stream of like mock-ups that we're making or something, right? Like I think that there's so much cool stuff happening that like we're not building, right? But like it's inspirational, it's brainstorm, it's like research, and I don't know, it's there we need to still like I like the Verge story stream, right? Like it's not their main post, but they just kind of like here's a small snippets. Yeah. Just a social feed in a way, right? But ours.
Kind of. Yeah. Like a mini blog, right? Micro blog.
Yeah.
Just for Home Assistant.
Should make like a micro blogging platform or something.
Maybe I'll tell our web dev this and we'll get him on it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the challenge is not to make it. It's like how to make sure people can subscribe to it or whatever and don't get still, right? I just want to have like a Planet Home Assistant as back in the days.
It's called Planet Home Assistant.
Planet Home Assistant. Oh, we had those planets back in the day.
Yeah, with all the RSS
that was cool.
Going all in and stuff.
RSS, yeah, those were the days when we still had Google Reader. God, I missed that one, by the way.
Speaking of more tile card improvements, I'm just going to show off a really, really big tile card. This is going to be really, really big because it's like this big. But we have to show it like this to see like what's really different, right? We actually adjusted the hitbox, right, of the circle part of the card. What it used to be is that you have to click on the circle part to turn on and off the entity. But now we actually make it so that the left half, like the left part of the card, will turn the card on and off. As you can see, the color of the circle actually changes slightly, even if I'm hovering anywhere that is around the tip of this card here. The reason we do that is that like it's better for touch, and also it would be very strange if people were usually when they're visually trying to tap on the circle, but if they tap on this like white area behind it, it will open the more info dialog instead of the toggle actions. So this is a small change, but it's very effective for the large hit area. And in fact, it's like a trick that you actually see in stealing from the greatest from the Apple Home app as well. If you try that, it's a very similar behavior that way. So yeah, thank you so much, the front end team and Marcin, to figure this out. This is more detailed but very effective. We actually have improved so much more detail in the past few months. If you notice it,
so many little, I like all those little micro animations. They're in so many freaking places. I love that a lot. But there's indeed a lot of like these little tiny polishing parts that are there.
Yeah. Notice how the background color just changes slightly when you hover over it, so that you know that you're hovering over the card and about to interact with it. That's really cool. So subtle, but it's there. I don't know if the screen share can show it effectively.
It does. Paul showed it just earlier as well. It's really subtle, really cool to see.
Yeah. So while we have this screen open, what else?
You have something new in your screenshot.
I don't know. What else do we have?
Yeah, I will we show it. As you know, or maybe not know, the tile card is not just a content and an icon. You also have feature. And features are just small addition you can put at the bottom of the card. It can be a light brightness slider. It can be color temperature slider, everything you want, depending of because it's light for now. And with this release, we introduce a new position for a feature. You can now have it inline. It was really requested by the community, so we did it. So if you put it here, like it will be the same size, just a little smaller to fit the design, but it will stay aligned with all the other cards. Like this slider will be perfectly aligned, and you can interact directly with your light directly from the dashboard, and it can lead to more compact dashboard if you want. So yeah, you don't have to deal with this large car. You can just have small row for every like something we have for entity card in the first card. We had the content on the left and the feature on the right, and so now we have it for tile card. And if you are using right to left language, it will be inverted to adapt. Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember a few weeks ago you posted a thread on Reddit asking people what makes people still use mushroom card instead of tile card, right? And one of the biggest requests is to have the features lined up horizontally, like the lamp that you're showing here on the screen.
Yeah, just so for people that don't know, right? Paul is the creator of the mushroom cards. So the very popular custom cards mushroom. He created those before he joined Nabukasa, because we asked him to join because like the things he created were amazing, cool, and the way he created them and his attention for detail was very good. So we're like, let's bring this into Home Assistant, and this is actually what we see now. This is the fruit of like Paul's labor partially. I mean, he worked with the whole team, but like this is his attention to detail, like bringing it to the project.
So there's a lot of chatter that the demo that Paul just entirely did was not showing up on screen. So for us, we could see it, but the stream on YouTube could not see it.
Shall I switch to my stream maybe? Maybe that helps. I got a summer demo open.
Yeah, I can just stop the demo and
yeah. Don't know.
Oh no. Okay. People, please wave. Please hit the like button if you can see the screen.
Just tell, please. The like button is fine, but
okay,
I mean,
they see.
They see. So the tile cards, like a summary of what was just told. The tile cards below have the light feature here, and here the thermostat, the climate card has these button features. And what you can now do is put them on the side of it. So you can just have the tile card or in a vertical one, and you can put the feature on the right side. So if we added this, I can actually edit it here, and in the features you can set to get it on the bottom or in line.
Yep.
And while we're here, may I just shout out how great I like this change in this dialogue? Let me zoom out a little to make it more visible, but there are all kinds of new things here. Instead of previews of what's going to happen. So instead of like a little box where you could select the text, you actually now have a visual cue of what's going to happen in this editor. And I absolutely love this.
This is sweet. I'm so glad that this is like being implemented. And yeah, I love that you can actually see what the card is going to look like. I mean, like with all these options going on, even though there's a preview on the side, it's easier to find the options that you need as a result.
And we did it in more place, and technically we should be able to do it in many places. So yeah.
So the difference between the two layouts, like one is inline, one is bottom. The bottom layout, like with the features at the bottom, it allows you to have multiple features. While if the card is inline, which is the features on the right, you can only have one feature on the right hand side. So they both have the advantages and disadvantage. The advantage of the inline method of showing the features is that now you can see all the entities, the name of each entity and the state of each entity in a list. So it's very easy to scan vertically and find the entity that you're looking for. Even though it has a smaller area than feature position at the bottom, which allows you to put multiple features like change light brightness and light color temperature in one card. So yeah, so like depending on your needs, like you can choose the different kind of layout that you need.
It's beautiful. I really like this one.
Yeah.
Talking
And
about
also-
feature, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, also to answer from mushroom question we have in the chat, I did a Reddit post a few weeks ago to ask user why they still use mushroom and why they don't use tile card. And like this feature to have inline was a main requested feature. The other one is template. And I'm thinking to slowly migrate all the mushroom part to Home Assistant, like all the big part of mushroom, and mushroom will in the future be able to use feature like tile card. And like basically mushroom will be focused on templating and like very custom thing. Like you should be able to add many options on it. You should be able to build custom slider, custom button, everything you want with it, a very custom thing. While tile card will be focused on basic and like 99% of the thing. But for the 1 or 5% you miss, you can maybe still use mushroom. But I don't want to continue to duplicate feature between both. So
Right.
we should make a clear difference between Home Assistant for most of the thing and custom card for very advanced thing. And as a basic user, you should not use this. So yeah.
And this is actually the approach we take for everything, right? Like our animation engine does a great thing for most of the users. You want advanced stuff, you can go to like PyScript, AppDaemon, Node-RED, whatever, right? Like we want to focus on the core features. And what we've learned the hard way in the past, right, with previous dashboard iterations and allowing a lot of templating is you allow everything, then there's a few people that can do the craziest stuff and it's amazing. A lot of other people will basically build something very inefficient and then say it's slow and be like, whoa, why is this so slow? It's like, well, and then an advanced user will be like, well, you're doing like a loop inside a loop on every state change for your dashboard. But if you're a not so advanced user, we should make sure that we don't build tools that can help you break your system, right? We really try to put some guardrails in, and within those guardrails, we can build amazing dashboards like you see on the screen. But we also always have that option, right? To just say, go custom card, custom integration, whatever, do your thing.
With great power comes great responsibility, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. Like, and also great flexibility, but that's the other thing, right? But we allow for the flexibility, we allow to extend, and but yeah, it will come with a cost if you don't watch out what you're doing. But yeah, we do want to protect people from getting into that situation from the Home Assistant end. That's for sure. Hey, while we're at this view with features, I currently have a screen open. Maybe we should demo the new ones.
Yeah, I have a demo if it works.
If it works, yeah, sure, try.
Yeah. Okay. If people cannot see Paul's screen, please hit the like button so we know.
All right. Can you
Just
see
tell
Paul?
us. Can you see the screen of Paul right now?
Yeah.
I hope so.
It takes 30 seconds, right?
Is this 30 seconds delay?
Richard says no. People are not watching.
We say nothing.
No screen.
Okay, Paul.
Yeah, but okay, Paul's screen is maybe you can refresh your browser or something, Paul.
Yeah, I'll reconnect your screen share.
Yeah, I already did it. Yeah.
Yes, now. Just kidding. Okay. Oh, you're all
Okay.
kidding? No way.
I was
This is
gonna say-
coordinated.
Oh, come on.
This has been
Yeah.
coordinated.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn
Yeah.
hopping in, trying to save us with a. We can see it.
I mean, I
Yeah,
can
okay.
share mine too if we need to.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but
fine.
it's
Good.
okay. It's
Huge
okay.
delay. We're good. All right.
So, as you maybe know, you can have a counter in Home Assistant. So you can increment and decrement a thing. And now we have a way to add it directly as a feature. So you can just change it. And you can also change, if you don't want the reset, you can remove the reset. If you don't want the decrement, you can reorder it like you want.
Nice.
What a good counter is good for. I mean, I can count the number of glasses of water I drank today, maybe. Like what?
Yeah, for example, you have guests, and once it will reach 5 guests, it will put party mode on.
Yeah, I'm thinking about counting the couple's coffees, maybe something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or the poof of your cat.
Yeah.
I would stick with couple coffees if you don't mind. But
That'd be great for the automation that I had been working on, where you watch how many times your cat goes in, and then you send the vacuum in to actually go through that. So that'd be the only useful thing when it comes to cat poop.
I mean, the other day we had somebody using a contact sensor to count how often the toilet was flushed. Right, so you would put that into account.
Wasn't that one of our coworkers, where because the toddlers were flushing stuff down the toilet, so they needed to make sure if it was flushing too many times that something.
Yeah,
was
that was good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So lots of somebody was like, "What is this timer? What's this counter sorcery?" If you go to helpers in Home Assistant, you can add counters, you can add your own toggles. There's so many they're not backed by a device. They're backed by nothing, right? Like we store it in memory, like a button, a timer, a counter, everything is there.
Yeah, you also have timer. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are very useful.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
And also the big feature we added, an awesome one, is the one that we should have at the beginning, but we never have it.
I don't get it. I saw this is a contribution by JP, by the way. Thank you so much for doing that. But no, did we not have a feature for switch?
That's because it's like almost a duplicate of the toggle that is in the circle of the icon.
Yeah, we discussed with Matthias, which is a designer in Home Assistant, and at the beginning we say, "Oh, we will not propose a switch feature because it's useless. You can just use the toggle icon." And we saw not the feature request, but the pull request from Jan Philippe, and we say, "Oh, let's add it for beta, and we will see." And we had many people are using it during beta, and even I think Gilo is which love to build dashboard, and it's a product owner in Home Assistant, and he rebuilt all his dashboard to put switch everywhere. So
I think it just makes it have more body, right? Like now it's also 2 rows, especially if you put it next to your guest counter. It's nice to have them equal height.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, it's like more consistent. So I want to show my example here. So at the stage, and when you have everything in inline features, all the features that is on the right, then it's very easy to find the switch right where it is.
Right.
And one thing actually that's interesting is you notice there's a circle, and if I actually turn off the toggle of the decorative light, the circle would actually disappear now.
Yeah. So that made me wonder, actually, looking at your screen, why did you still have those enabled then?
Wait, people are saying no screen, but I don't know if it's real anymore.
Oh no. What's going on?
You lost the
can't-
trust right now.
I was gonna say we don't trust our audience anymore.
I'm going to open a second tab.
It's
Oh,
real.
no,
But
I
why?
saw it. It's
Oh
back.
man.
It's back.
No.
I think the real thing that is messing with us right now is StreamYard, the software we are
Yeah.
using. I think that's the real
Yeah,
real
we did
crook in this
nothing.
case.
There's just a
Yep.
update on their end.
Yeah.
Like we can
If-
see it all on our side. It's just not coming through.
It was
Yeah,
beautiful,
what it looks
and
like.
you don't know what you missed.
If if J-Lo and Gwendolyn, you're watching the stream, just ping us, let us know.
But it's
Yeah.
gone. The screen is gone again from Marlena, so we need to remove this
And
screen.
it's back. It just pops in and pops out, as it seems.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm
Thank
so
you.
sorry, guys. It's just happening somehow. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Alright.
the demo that I just showed is just I turn off the toggle of the icon button and the circle will be gone, right? So
Nice.
All right.
Can we talk about the next feature for dashboard?
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, are we sticking to dashboards?
We have more?
We're doing
Yeah.
yeah, the
Oh,
yeah,
more,
we have
the
more.
more that's what. Yes.
Do we do an intermezzo? Short intermezzo?
Yeah,
We
what do you
are
want to talk about? Yeah.
do a short 1 minute intermezzo because we are hosting the State of the Open Home this year. So last year it was in April. We announced the Open Home Foundation. We're doing it again this year. It's going to be April 12th. It's again
Yeah.
going to be exclusively online. Don't find us. And we are no, yeah, it's going to be
Or
exclusive
12.
online. It's going to be on this channel, so definitely subscribe. You'll be notified. Missy's going to create a live stream like later this month somewhere. April 12th. It is a Saturday, so
Yeah, just like we did last year. We held it on a Saturday last year. We'll have it in the studio again, so it'll be all nice, good production value that'll outshine our live streams.
Nah.
But no, it's gonna be big.
microphone perfect. Every screen share, no screen sharing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it will be awesome. So definitely check in. Definitely mark your calendar. That Saturday night, or depending if where you are in the world. To be honest, if you're in Europe, Saturday night, or in Africa, Saturday night. US, if it still exists during the day. New Zealand.
Well, that's very
That's dark.
I'm just gonna log
Wow.
off now.
But yeah, mark
12.
your calendars. Mark your calendars. Yeah. Good. Okay, second intermezzo, because we're now intermezzoing, right? Like, if you like the
Keep
work
on
that we're
trucking.
doing and you want to support the work that we're doing, please, can somebody kick in the animation? Do we have the animation? We have, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa, because all the money that we make for the Home Assistant Cloud, we hire people. All the people you see on the screen today, they are being paid to work full-time on Home Assistant. We build Home Assistant, we build ESP Home. We do this together with the community, of course, but being the #1 open source project in the world, it's a lot of organizing and managing and making sure the quality security stays high. So you want to support our development of what we're doing, please subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabukasa. And it's not just to support us. You also get remote access. You get text-to-speech and speech-to-text. So if you use Home Assistant
Really
Voice, you
good,
get very
actually.
high-quality voices there. You also get integration with Google and Amazon if you haven't fully migrated over yet to our own voice platform. Better cameras,
Very camera
and
screaming.
online backups. So offsite backups. So it's all included, and you support the development of like all the people working on all the different aspects of the Open Home Foundation. So yes, please support us.
Wow, nothing to add. That's just perfect.
Yeah.
Right?
It was great.
Good.
Somebody's asking, are the backups encrypted? Of course they
Oh,
are
yeah.
encrypted when they're sent to Nobukasa. We don't want your data at all.
Rule
Absolutely
number 1,
never
we don't
ever.
want your data.
Not
We-
without
we
you
don't.
telling us. Not without you telling us. You can opt in to give your analytics, but we do not want your backup data.
No.
Not interested, not even a tiny bit. All right. 2 intermezzos. Do we have a third?
I think we do.
More dashboard
Really?
stuff.
More dashboard stuff. We definitely have more dashboard stuff this
Wait,
release,
yeah.
Paul. I'm looking on the side if it actually shows up
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
it
can
doesn't.
we
It
can
shows
see a
up.
screen.
So I can continue. So before you add badges at the top, and now if you look at your dashboard in edit mode, you have a new option here to add a title.
There's a whole new area at the top, actually. That is the
Yeah,
header.
exactly. Before we had just badges, and now we have a full special section at the top, full with, and you can add a title. So it will add a default text. You click save. And now you have a title that you can say hello, or you can display just a small summary of the dashboard, or just a title if you want. It even supports a template. So if I change here, so I had a big template.
Wow,
here.
you type really fast.
Yeah. I asked ChatGPT to type
Teach
for
me, Sensei.
ChatGPT.
Teach me.
It is true. That's actually one great use of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
jump.
That's true.
So yeah,
So
for this
show us
template,
what
I
we
asked.
see. I
Yeah,
want to
sorry?
see what we're seeing, Paul, but I do want you to open the template back up after you've explained what we're looking at. Can you zoom in a little? And also,
Yeah.
if you don't hover because it's faded out.
Yeah. So you have the weather of the day, and like for example here, I just have the weather. I'm using the state. I have the temperature, the humidity. I just create a small summary of the weather to display it at the top, and it will be dynamically updated every time I go to the dashboard. And it should also be live update. If the temperature change and all the things change, it will change.
And that's how templates work in Home Assistant, right? Like we actually built a very extensive template system in the front end that can subscribe to state changes. So if you refer to weather.leal in your template in the front end and it's rendered as markdown, the moment that state updates instantly, it will update the markdown as well.
Yeah. And basically, this text is just a markdown card, so you will have all the options and all the markdown. So markdown allow you to put title, to put text in bold, like italic, and all this stuff. That's why we have bold here, and we can. You can even add icon. I think you can do many things with that. So yeah. It's not just a small text at the top. You can even format it and add links to other websites or links to other dashboard. Everything you want in it. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
I like that idea. You can have links to other dashboards based on like
Yes.
the state or the time of the day. You can have different navigation things.
Yeah.
Mhm. So yeah, if you press done, you will actually see the layout, how that layout actually works on the entire page, right? So if you press done, so exit the edit mode, like the way that we want our future like templated dashboards in future to work is that the essentially the very top, the header section will allow users to tell what's going on right away with the smallest amount of space as possible. So in this case, usually it's a summary text and like a few highlighted entities in the form of badges. If the users want to learn more about what's on the dashboard, they can see more details below. So that's how the header section is conceived and how it will be used for like other dashboards and how you can use that in your dashboards too. And actually, that's not more. That's not all because we have more layout option for the header too.
I was about
Yeah.
to say I don't like how it's centered personally, but
Yeah.
I know it can be changed, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you now have this icon. You click on it, and you have this new select with a small thumbnail to preview what you will have. And
So
if you
beautiful.
don't like it center, you can have left align, so it will be aligned like this. And if you are also if you are using a RTL language, like it will be aligned to the right, because we will respect that. And you can also put badges at the top if you prefer. Like it's just up to your preference to do what you want. And we also have a special mode which is responsive, and it will align badges and text side by
I
side.
like that.
Yeah. And if you go to mobile, it will automatically switch to the left mode because we have no space and we don't want to reduce the text.
Responsive design. Awesome.
And you can also align them to the top if you prefer. It's still an option. Yeah.
I
So
think this is my favorite view. Like you have it now. That would be my personal preference.
Yeah.
It's cool.
in case you wonder why just these two layouts, well, this is very much based on the case studies that we look at over the years of like the best dashboards from like our community. So, well, let me see if I can share my screen and you can actually see it this time. So this one. So you can see like we look up a lot of the most popular dashboards we have, and actually a lot of them have a very similar features, which is have a good evening, your name at the top of your dashboard. And we want to make it easy for everyone to replicate that experience. So whether it's for people who want to have a left aligned responsive header section at the top, or have like a center title at the top of their dashboard too. So now it's you don't need to have any complicated code. You can just use this trick from the new section dashboard layout.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is the cool part, right? Like we look at thousands of dashboards, we distill the most wanted, most, features that people like the most, and we make sure that everyone can use them. Like,
Mhm. Yep. So like the best dashboards can be used by everyone now, and like less need to copy and paste YAML code, which is pretty hard to do to replicate a dashboard that way.
I
So,
think that
yeah,
like, we are very few steps away from like doing like, I think Melanie already said, right? We want to have many more default dashboards. I think that it will be really
that's
cool
holy
to
crap.
just, the energy dashboard could use some other
Yes.
type of dashboards, right? Like using all these new features.
The default one
Cool stuff.
also.
Yeah.
The default dashboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the first
Yeah.
goal. That's the goal
Yeah.
right now, right? That's what we're aiming for at this point. So that looks really cool. I would love a camera dashboard myself, to be honest. Something like that.
Yeah.
Security
Does your phone
dashboard.
like
kind of
that?
deal. I don't know. I don't have it, so I cannot tell you yet.
Yeah.
But anyways, like in all, I think there could be a lot of dashboards, right? We could do over the time, and what many people probably don't realize is that dashboards are actually people often refer to as blueprint dashboards or blueprint support for dashboards. We actually have something like that, which is called dashboard strategies.
Yeah.
So people could actually develop their own strategies and share them. There are actually not many out there, but this has already been possible for years, which is kind of surprising, right?
Since the energy dashboard, right? We built it for the energy dashboard back.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
But all in all, we'll see how this is going to develop. I think as soon as we have like the default dashboard fixed, then maybe we could land a few dashboard and we could maybe get that game a little bit going in the community, right? And I'm really curious to see something happen there.
Yeah.
I must say, yeah, we definitely try to do the dashboard working group, and it's still an experimental process to have open source design going on. And sorry, it's still like for people that who want to work with, we're still trying like to see what works and what doesn't. At this moment, I think like if we can have front end developer joining, that would be great. But before then, we have to make sure that our front end environment is easy to set up. So our team is also working hard to make sure that that can happen. And yes, so hopefully we can see more things get polished up soon. Like, for example, the gauge card. That would be nice.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You don't like it?
You don't like it? No, I don't. I kind of agree with that comment, to be honest.
Yeah,
But
I think I never use this card.
just saying. I mean,
You got where the community post came from? I know we kind of pull them from a few different places. Reddit's a really popular place that people post their dashboards, right?
This has been gathered by the UX team, like just going over everything on your Reddit and stuff. There's not like a single place where you can find them.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much
it's like
interesting stuff
basically
to
all
see.
the top dashboards. We got the dashboard that is collected from everything smart home as well.
Yeah.
Like collected a huge stash, and thank you.
Thank you.
Help.
It's really cool.
All right. Is it time to look at like something non-dashboards? Do we have another dashboard thing going?
I think we're pretty much
There-
through, actually.
Still one tiny one that is the fix on the legends, but
Oh yeah, that's not really dashboard. We will get to that one. I would say.
Yeah,
I
we'll
think
get
it's
to that.
time
Yeah.
for something not dashboards. I would say. I think Paulus will probably have a demo prepped. I guess. Hopefully.
I have
I'm just
I have a demo prepped of the features that I built.
It's
Yes.
another
Yeah.
comma separated file export thing.
CSV was the best in 2000.
Export
Or-
LLM response as CSV.
I
Of
must
course,
be honest,
last-
we use it. We use the
Yeah,
social
no, but
media
like-
platform Pupler,
Yeah, we
and they
keep-
actually advertised that they now have like comma separate file support today. I was like, oh god, that's why it's on top of my mind. Anyways,
No, so of course the best feature of this year is already calling phones. So we cannot beat
Oh,
that.
true.
So, but no, there's a little quality of life that we sneaked in that I think is really cool. And I'm just gonna share my screen, and it's like you probably know, right? You go to this page, and maybe this is my dev instance, so there's like not too much. But imagine you have like 20 ESP home devices, right? The moment you add an integration, and I'm just gonna add the local calendar because it's very easy. It's installing local calendar, I guess.
it's def. You missed the dependencies. Oh,
Oh,
god,
no, there it
that
is. Calendar name. So I am doing it.
no screen, Paulus.
no screen
Oh, there's-
again. All of-
There's
No
there's
screen.
screen. There's screen. There's
Okay,
screen.
stop sharing.
what the beep?
No, the screen is back. It fixed in the meantime.
Oh man.
It's like it fixes as you like put it up and then pull it back, and then it kind of blacks out. That's what I'm seeing whenever people talk about it. This has been fun.
Okay. So can people? Okay, let me. I'm gonna add my
Try
screen
again.
back. What do people see? Do they see local calendar?
Hold on. I can tell you in a minute. No, it's black. It's not nothing. Hold on. Just wait for a minute. Just it needs a little bit of time, I guess.
Warm
Yeah.
up. I mean,
No, nothing.
I have,
Nothing.
Nothing.
okay. The add config flow screen is open for the adding a
I
local
can
calendar.
describe it.
Do you do that?
Imagine. Yeah.
Imagine.
Okay,
I was
warm
gonna
up.
say he's in
Okay.
light mode. There's a pop-up that says local calendar.
Can you resize a little bit? Maybe that helps. I can monitor in the meantime, but now we wait
Yeah.
another 10, 15 seconds, I guess.
So we have been what we have been using is StreamYard, right, for all our streaming needs. I think there might have been a recent update or something.
They recently did something that they turned on to advertise their own stuff that we were not pleased they ended up doing. So I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Maybe we should just point the webcam at the screen.
My screen shows
So-
up, Paulus, so I will
Okay.
will try to do it.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
just go add a local calendar. So here you see
You
user Frank, new to Home Assistant. He's adding a new local calendar because he wants to track the trash pickup inside Home Assistant. So he
I
goes
do.
to add a local calendar.
I'll wait until the configuration wizard starts. Let me zoom
Yeah.
out a little bit. Here we go.
Okay, he'll add trash pickup as name. Doesn't really matter.
Trash
Okay.
pickup.
Yeah, let's hit submit.
Okay.
Okay, now hold a second. This screen, we all know this screen. There's 500 things discovered. You hit add, it says successful. You click finish, the dialog closes, and like you're on the screen again. You're like, wait, what did I just add? Where did I go? What is going on? Now, not anymore. Now, when you click finish, we will show you what we've created. So go ahead, Frank, and click finish. He's currently on the integration page. Now he is on the local calendar page. And his config entry for trash pickup is highlighted. You can immediately click to configuration. You can see the entities, the devices, the services, everything around it. So this really is like, it was a tiny change, but such a high quality of life. And every time I now encounter it in my development, whatever, I'm like, oh, that's really nice. So
I have no trash to pick up though, apparently. That's Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is a new feature. Really nice. Really, it's a good one.
It works really well if you add, for example, like an ESP home device that it would like instantly throw you to it, right?
Yeah.
Like that's so nice too. Instead of you're just looking at this list, which kind of makes sense. That this is also not being used, as you can see, like so much discovered. But
and it will also highlight the line directly in the list. If you have multiple ESP on devices, it will highlight.
Yeah, it will highlight. It will highlight
Yeah.
the one, right? So
like the blue line here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice little addition.
It's funny. It's like the switch feature. It's what's funny that we didn't add this by default from the beginning. Like when we, it's very strange, right?
It's
I thought this,
you gotta think of it.
Yeah.
How many ESP32s you own? Like ESP Home is awesome, guys. Like, come on. Like that project is so great. I have a lot of them. And that's also if you support if you subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud by Nabokasa, then you also support the ESP Home project, right? So
yeah.
A lot of my beginner stuff has been ESP Home stuff. Like it's pretty easy to onboard for, especially if you buy the pre-built stuff, not the little tinker stuff where you have to build your own boards. But it's like the pre-built stuff is really, really good. It just flows right into Home Assistant.
My favorite pre-built stuff is the Home Assistant Voice PE. It's like our voice assistant is ESP Home, right? The voice assistant that we built is fully open source. And so yeah, that's ESP Home. That's how a lot of people have many ESP Home devices.
I like yours, Paul. It's beautiful.
Oh, I have that one here too, actually. Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah. But yeah, no, ESP Home just for sensors, getting some sensors into Home Assistant, build your own stuff. I love using these, like for building stuff. Like we used to recommend these for the voice assistant development. I wouldn't recommend them today because they don't have the noise and acoustic echo cancellation that the voice PE has. But there's a bunch of pins. This is the bigger version. The cheaper version or the more affordable one is $7.50. And it's like half the size of this. It's tiny, just enough to get started with sensors, play with ESP Home. Lots of fun. Yeah.
ESP Home is just so cool.
Yes.
All right. This was a nice little detour, but I was actually looking for another detour from you, Paulus, which is more related to like the favorite subject people have, like the hot keyword AI and LLMs.
Do you have OpenAI set up?
I don't know.
I can try sharing my screen again, but like
I thought you said it was going to be backups. Is that hot topic, Frank?
Okay, I'm sharing my screen. If people can see this, hit the like button.
Nope, doesn't work.
Okay, well, whatever.
Oh, now it is. Yes, it's there.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Works.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, but I just removed it. Okay. Voice assistant.
This is going so well today.
Okay, so let me know. Is the chat dialog visible?
Wait a second.
Not yet.
Wait a second. Wait for it.
Ridiculous.
The delay is like between actual what we see and what the people see. It's real.
JLo says hold.
Yes, it works. Yes,
Okay,
it
good.
works.
So
Yeah.
large language models are very slow, and they've been getting faster, but still they're not as instant as like you're used from computers. And that means that because they generate like a word at a time, basically, as they do. Especially like slower models, because you're running them locally at hardware, can be, annoyingly slow in that, like, if you have to wait for a long story to be told, then, you have to wait. So we added this new feature now, which is called streaming. Right now, it's only text, not text to speech yet. That's being worked on by a team. And it means that, for example, this is in the front end. Right now, we've only added this to the front end, not yet the mobile phone apps. But when I say, tell me a not so short story, which means it's a long story. Let's see. As you can see, it's built up like, I don't know if it was like visible on the stream, but like, yeah, it will.
It was fast though.
Yeah, OpenAI is fast.
But
Tell me.
ask the OpenAI to write a whole essay.
Yeah. So as you can see, no, I think it's being cut off. Actually, you can see that I have probably a max token set up to not blow through my whole OpenAI allowance. But no, yeah. So there you can see now the streams. This is a good start. And the other thing that is very nice is that we are now also streaming tool calls. So if an AI, an LLM is going to call a service, it will actually do that, like also streaming, right? Like we know one service, the other service, and so we can start executing them as soon as we had. And JLo had an amazing video today because he had asked to, he has a script to change the standing desk from sitting to standing, and that script blocks until the desk is fully moved. So what happens is that he has the LLM. The LLM is, I'm adjusting your standing desk, ... and it like is moving. And then after 10 seconds, when his desk is done moving, it said, okay, your desk is now in the right position. And that's just very cool. Like that's something we couldn't do before, and like now we can do it. So
because the LLM is waiting for a service call response.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's streaming the text and service calls like alongside each other, and then it will wait for the tool for the results, and then it will generate a response based on the results. And so that's like a back and forth that happens before the AI goes back to the user.
This is generally a feature that I think in automations is pretty much like undervalued. If you call any action in Home Assistant, it will wait until it's done. And in cases like this, you can actually use that, right? You can wait for it to be completed and get data back and work with that and reuse it. And indeed, this is a good use case with an LLM. Wait for the response, use that again, do stuff with it. That's really cool.
Look at you inspiring people. Let's get that. Yeah.
If you like this, give a thumbs up.
Yes.
How many
One of
thumbs
my
up?
favorite
How many
things
likes do
about
we have?
I'm not sure.
yeah,
I
sorry.
haven't opened.
So yeah, that's streaming AI.
Cool.
Look.
All right.
All right. What else? Do you want to
Shall we
open the
talk?
release notes?
No, I want to. Yeah, sure. I have opened. Oh, I have the wrong tab shared. Hold on. Let me fix that. Here we go. We have a bunch of new integrations this release we could discuss and talk about a little bit, I guess. Let's do it. Here we go. So these are the new integrations. And my screen shows up perfectly fine. I think it's just the screen. My screen works every time. That's good. Not sure why though.
Two cool new backup locations.
Yeah, those are amazing, right? We have done 2 releases about backups, and we now see integrations showing up that support actually backup target locations where you can store your backups too. So Azure Storage has been added, and WebDAV or WebDAV, I'm not even sure how to pronounce it.
I always say WebDAV, but I guess...
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is WebDAV, WebDAV, whatever, is that compatible with Nextcloud and stuff?
most NASAs actually still support it
Yeah.
today, or still do. It's not
Yeah.
like advertised in general, but there's a lot of web services out there that support it still.
In Synology, you can install WebDev if you want. It's another way to connect your Synology NAS to Home Assistant.
Although, if you have a Synology, it will just
Yeah.
pop up as the Synology integration added, and
Yeah.
the backup application already works, right? You don't need
You don't need
WebDAV
that.
for that. But
Yeah.
yeah. 2 new storage locations for backups. Keep them coming. If you have an idea for a backup location, just like please do feel free to create them. There are a few more in the pipeline, so that's interesting to see, and it's nice to see that expanded and that feature actually being more feature rich.
Yeah. Well, what I like about it is that we are, this was the vision, right? Like we are creating we don't just create a system, right? We always create like a framework in which like it's pluggable and you can extend it. And if you don't like what we have to offer, then like someone else will build an integration. And so you want to back up to Azure or WebDev or Google Synology, be our guest, do it, set it up.
All of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Also good.
Yeah.
That's fine, right? And that's
Yeah.
cool. Everything we do, we make extensible. Cards, integrations, backups, add-ons, you name it. Like everything is like extensible. And that's kind of like cool. You see stuff like this happening.
Yep. I mean,
It's-
that's been the direction, right, for the past year. So it's like we want to make sure it's extensible for everyone, but also the basics. Like if you don't know how to extend it, our backup with Home Assistant Cloud is also amazing.
Yeah.
So I see some people shouting for certain backup providers. By the way, some of them are actually already in PR and pull request, like a contribution that's pending. So SFTP, for example, is something that I saw. I saw it already. So there's more in the pipeline. Let's wait for it. Maybe next time we can talk about it.
Yeah.
IO meter. It's I really don't know what it is actually. It's like a little device you can put on your energy meter, I guess, in Germany.
Is it like a pulse counter?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, yeah, it looks like a pulse
Okay.
counter.
Yeah.
We have an open
Or-
source version if people want to build their own.
The Home Assistant Glow, the little known Home Assistant open source hardware that you can build.
Our intern built it, right? When Klaas was doing an internship at Nabukasa.
Home Assistant Glow. Yep.
Home Assistant Glow, it's a cool thing. You should definitely look it up if you're looking for something. But if you're living in the Netherlands or like the Finnish lands, or what's it called, the Iceland, I learned has it too. And there are multiple countries that actually have a P1 port, so that's
Iceland,
better
wow.
to use. But
Yeah.
In France, we have a port to connect directly a device. Yeah.
See,
Using
that's
the
cool.
device.
But if there's like that blinking light on it, like that, like blinks on usage, then you can't use the glow.
Yeah, it will just be a counter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and every time it blinks, it's like 1,000 blinks per kilowatt hour, right? And then like inside ESP Home, we're calculating how much you're using real time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we have PG Lab Electronics, which makes like these boards, relay boards, which can be controlled. It's pretty cool. If you're
Just
looking for
running
something
home?
like that,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. Otherwise, it would have needed its own integration, right?
Oh, that's true.
PG Lab.
We have Sensor Push Cloud, which we already had, but they now also have a cloud version.
Oh, instead of the local version?
It's probably delivering some other specific features, I guess. And then we have SNU for all your Futurama fans. This is a different SNU. Yeah, then that's okay. This is pretty patchy dirty, I guess. But nevertheless, it's a Bassinet.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, right? Like,
oh yeah, that's a smart
look at
Bassinet.
that.
You only use it for 2 years. And
Bassinet 6 months, maybe. Like,
Yeah, it's 6 months. Yeah.
yeah.
but what features does it have? It just shakes around, or like
Well, maybe
Yeah, but
you know,
it delivers sensors on the state of the thing, or the baby
baby
that's around
alive.
it.
Yes, no.
Yeah.
Ah,
Do you need sensor to to know that?
so that episode, by the way, is called "Death by Snoo Snoo" for the Futurama. So I'm
Oh
not sure if
God.
that is like really a good like
No,
thing to
no.
compare to, but nevertheless, yeah. All
As
right.
the result of Snoo Snoo, wouldn't it be?
Yeah,
That's
as a result of Snoo
interesting.
Snoo. Yeah.
Like we said that you only use it for 6 months. They actually have a rental service of the smart snoo smart sleeper, which
All
would
right.
save a lot more money, I guess.
Rented.
You can rent it. Yep, you can rent a
Mm.
smart sleeper.
I mean, it is a lot smarter for a lot of baby stuff.
I would have
It
loved at the
trains the
time.
baby to sleep.
This automation I would love at some point in time. Yeah. Just
I
for
mean,
the
look, that is the promise of a snoo, right? You put them in the bassinet shakes the baby to sleep.
Yep,
Oh.
I guess.
Yeah.
If your kid
All right.
likes that stuff, right? Like that's always it's a hit or miss.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep.
So that's for the new integrations. We have a bunch of new visual integrations, which I definitely going to list. And surprise, surprise, it's there. It has been gone for some time, but it's
Wow.
back here. It's O-Power. O-Power is back for Burbank Water and Power.
That's funny. Wow, motion blinds is also on fire.
Right, and a bunch of motion blind brands, and which this one I found really
Oh, the
interesting.
IKEA one, huh? The iDecent desk is now a desk from IKEA.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
is Linac then the original one?
Yeah, I
or
think
is
so.
so
There's
IKEA like
but
labeled it?
IKEA works with all these companies, right? Like they basically have everybody then pitch products to the IKEA corporation, and then they will like pick the ones that they will mass produce. So
Mm,
yeah,
that,
that's,
that makes
Uh,
sense.
and now Linac will forever be known as the IKEA desk in Home Assistant.
I guess so. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's just how it works.
All right. Let's go over what else is improved on existing integrations.
Yeah.
Some things to call out. Actually, they're all call out worthy. Especially the first one, Home Connect. A lot
Very
of stuff
nice.
happening there. It's very nice to see the improvements there. I do own a few of their devices, so I'm very happy with that. Thank you both, Martin and Gigoro. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah.
This one is cool. Paulus, can you maybe
Yeah, so-
explain this one?
Whenever you have an ESP Home device, there's logging happening on the device, right? Like whenever an error happens, whenever it does something, and getting logging from these devices, if you're a developer, relatively easy. Just get the encryption key, have a CLI command running for the logging. If you're a user, it was not easy, and we basically were like trying to guide people through getting that set up, and it was just a nightmare for both sides. And so with this little button, the logging of this device will now be put inside your logging, inside Home Assistant, and it's actually great because you see the log in Home Assistant saying, I'm sending a turn on light. And then you see the turn on light command being received by ESP Home, and you can actually see it in together, right? Like you know exactly what happens when. And we already, Bidraco found like 4 bugs around Bluetooth for this, and it's been already very, very helpful. So that's a great improvement.
This is really helpful. If device acts up, because the thing I guess is that with the ESP Home device, if it crashes or restarts, you actually lose access to the logs, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then
So the
they're
moment
safe and
it's
sound.
turned over, it's done. Yeah.
Right. Okay, that makes a lot of
Because if
sense.
you write to this the whole time, like those ESP devices don't have that much like space to write, and number of writes is not a limited, right?
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. Yeah,
Open
more
AI.
LLMs in here.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
the reasoning model. So we've seen now, look, we see the next generation of AI models are like the reasoning models, where basically instead of, there used to be one shot. You give it a prompt and information and it would just call, like give you an answer. The new reasoning models are like, oh, I'm getting a question. Let me make a plan how I'm going to answer this question. And it comes with like 4 steps. And then each step individually invokes the large language model again. And so it iterates on your question and then comes up with a better result. So it takes longer, but you get higher quality results. This is actually, it's interesting because I was looking at some output. This was like for Claude, because I was reviewing a PR last night. And Shulyaka was also adding it there. And the test was like, do a test call, call this test tool was basically the question to the AI, and then the AI has to call the tool, and then we know the tool calling works and reasoning works. But the reasoning was very nice. The first step was like, why am I in a test or something? And then the second thing was like, okay, this is calling a test. Is this against my security and ethics policy? And then like, you see some of the thinking blocks are encrypted, so you don't actually know because you're not allowed to know what internal security policies are or something. And then like it continued. And in the end, it just called the tool just like 20 seconds later than if it wasn't a reasoning model. But of course, you can have more complicated tasks are better solved this way. But you need to, this is one of those things where you really need to pick the right model for the right task. If you're doing a voice assistant, reasoning models suck because they're slow, right? And you don't have the time to wait for it. If you're maybe in an automation, sending data to an LLM to decide on something, it could be worth it. But I don't think, within a smart home, it's not, they're just fun to play with.
Would they be better in making summaries and things like that? Or
it's more things like summaries is something I think a one-shot LLM can do because it can like that's just the one thing. It's more like whenever you need a plan, right? So I want to develop a custom card for Home Assistant, right? So it's like, okay, what are the rules for a custom card? What data do I want to have input? What is the configuration format? And then like build it up in that kind of steps.
Or building an automation.
Sorry?
Maybe building an automation.
Yeah, also that would be a good reasoning model as well. So that I was talking with Marlena yesterday, earlier before the stream. I want to come up with a set of prompts that you can just throw in these reasoning models and say, this is how a custom card is made. And then you write what kind of card you want and let them build it for you. And then you just copy and paste it in.
We should actually fine tune or train like more on like our documentation or things like how to build automations, right? So it has the exact context. Because if you ask ChatGPT right now or any other LLM, like write me this automation, it often comes up with older syntax or things it learned over time on the internet, which is actually maybe not the best practices anymore nowadays. It will still work though, because automation engine is always backwards compatible, but it would be so nice if we can feed it like this is all the information on how to write animations and then use that.
Yeah. If you ask ChatGPT to build a dashboard, I'm not sure it would use section.
No,
probably not.
Sure.
Yeah.
But that's why you give it instructions, right? It's like, hey, this is the new shit. This is the coolest and sickest and stuff, and this is what all the cool kids use. Use this.
Yeah.
All right. Let's continue here a little bit because we also have the Shelly integration in here, and they now support the 4th generation of Shelly flood sensors. There's a whole lot of 4th generation sensors and actuators coming from Shelly. I don't think they're available just of yet, but they are interesting.
No. So this is kind of cool. Shelly gives the people that work on the Shelly integration inside Home Assistant early access to products. They have access to the development team. They report bugs directly to the company, right? So this is a platinum integration, I think, should be right. And they are always on the forefront, and they make sure that everything coming out of Shelly just works flawlessly.
And what I find really interesting about this 4th generation, because I've seen the devices and played with them at CES earlier this year. It's so cool. They put in Bluetooth, Matter over Wi-Fi, and their own protocol of Wi-Fi, and they put in Zigbee.
Yeah,
all of them in that device. So if you buy this one, you can hook it up the way you like. And if you switch around later on, or you migrate to a different communication protocol that you use around your home, you can.
Yeah. I mean, and it's funny because for us, it actually doesn't matter because Shelly has a very good, locally documented public API that we've integrated from the very beginning, right? And which works very well for us. But it's good for all the other people that need choice or that just need better, really, right? Like,
Yeah. Shelly absolutely loves our integration, by the way. So they're very happy with how Home Assistant works with them.
good.
All right. Also, script events. You can, if you script in Shelly, you can also script in Shelly. You can send over events to Home Assistant, which is cool.
Yeah.
Or more advanced automations. Support for SwitchBot Remote has been added, which loading this little thing here.
A button.
It's a button. It's a button. Look, you can like
Wait, but it
connect
has
to a
these two
role.
buttons actually.
It's on and off, probably.
Yeah.
Just very inspiring.
SwitchBot is Bluetooth, right?
Yes, it's Bluetooth.
Yes.
Not all of their products are Bluetooth, but these are.
Yeah, I think the robot vacuum and the whatever happened even. They were so big at CES. They had this platform that built on top of a robot to have your air purifier be driven through the house.
Robot table. Yeah.
The robot table, yeah. Did it launch yet?
I don't think so.
I could use a robot table.
Plus or something. Yeah.
So
What about the one with the robot arm? Because I remember that one too, where it picks up and it like moves things that it sees.
that
that's
was
Roborock.
Roborock.
Yeah.
That was
Roborock
for
did
the
the
vacuum.
arm, and then SwitchBot did the table.
You know what I liked? We talked to SwitchBot where we were at CES, and they showed the table driving around, and their CEO said, like, at the office, we have a 3D print file. We created an adapter for it, and it drives around a mini fridge with beer in it. Like, now we're talking. Like, come on, I need that, right? Just like press a button and it will bring it right to you, like fresh and cool and such. Yeah, that sounds like a winner.
You need to get the waiter bots that are in some of the like Korean barbecue restaurants or in Japan, and actually you can have those bring you your beer and stuff like that. That's what we need integrated.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't the idea that like it can connect to the table, but then it can also disconnect and just vacuum your house or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have different hats. You can have,
Fun.
a humidifier hat or table hat or a cube hat.
It's just fascinating to see what comes out at CES, and like you never know what sticks, right? You never know.
I have seen lots of cool things at CES, though. I hope some of these land, but we'll see over time what will end up on the market, right? It's always cool. All right, Unify introduced zone-based rules, and you can toggle them in Home Assistant. Cool, I guess. And last but not least, fact support for Go lights. I know they're quite popular in the community. Cool to see that landing. All right.
Yeah.
And then we need to talk about also another hop subject, because this one is a little bit tucked away, but it's not really tucked away. It's a big thing, actually.
This is a really big thing.
What?
So this actually goes back like a couple of years, right? So Samsung, the SmartThings it's a cloud-based hub. And they've always been like, you could always access that data, right? You could always create like a personal access token, create an app, and you would basically get full access to all your data that you were storing at Samsung. They were using webhooks, so it was cloud push-based, which anything push-based is good, right? It means that, motion sensor would fire off inside SmartThings. Home Assistant would know within a second that this was happening, which was good. Now, SmartThings decided that like the old personal access token API, it was being sunset. They felt like it had basically full access to the system. So they were a bit like, okay, for security, we want to tone it down. And so one of the changes they made that hurt us really bad is that every new personal access token would expire within 24 hours. So previously, they would never expire. Great. Home Assistant had access. The new way, 24 hours, which is not good for Home Assistant, right? Imagine that every 24 hours you have to set up SmartThings again. And so the good news is that they reached out to us. And ideally we had it we had this fixed before the expiration of the personal access tokens, but in the end, like, we collaborated with them, and they actually introduced a new API specifically for us that allows us to get server-sent events sent to us. It has a big benefit from our end because you don't rely on webhooks anymore. So previously, Samsung had to know where your instance was and send a message directly. Now your instance connects to Samsung, and it just gets over that connection. You get events sent to you, which is really, really nice. But yeah, this collaboration has been great. We've actually had Joost, he has been working on this, and he had a lot of help from the community in testing. We've had weekly meetings with SmartThings engineers and product managers to make sure to like align all this, to make sure it works, and it works, right? So if you are a SmartThings user, and a lot of people are SmartThings users because I think the number one sold TV in the United States is the Samsung Frame, right? So which also has SmartThings, but yeah, if you use SmartThings, you can now pull it into Home Assistant. Just log into your account, no other setup necessary at all anymore.
I like the what Slim Him is saying here. He says, so happy to hear they work with Home Assistant.
Yeah.
That is definitely like the case, right? We're not like, if you want to hook up with a large community, this is the way to go. Like, how long did it take? Like a month or something? It was good.
So yeah, on both sides, lots of effort has been put in, but it just shows, right? Like, Samsung wants to work with Home Assistant. We like to work with Samsung on this. And we are all having a better system out of this.
Everybody wins.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, there are some other things left. There are some changes that we made that we might be able to see or show or maybe just talk about. But I think the first one is interesting. You might have seen it in the forums. You might have experienced it before. You upgraded Home Assistant and some of the features don't work, or some dashboard things broke and you had to clear the cache of your browser and things like that. We improved that situation. Like, it's not 100% fully solved. Like, we cannot control everything in your browser, but we should have now tackled like the biggest chunk of cases that are there. So hopefully the most asked question after each release with the most biggest response with "did you flush your cache already?" should be gone. Let's hope that. So this is for the moderators and the users. I would say it saves them a lot of answers on the same thing.
Yeah,
it helps me too. Like going through, and I have the sleeping my tabs, and then I go back to it and it would have to reload the entire UI. I haven't had to do that all beta. It's been so nice. I'm very excited about the release for that.
Good. Well, policies change we talked about. He showed, right? It will redirect you to the integration as soon as you add a new device or integration to it, which is really nice. There's an option to add an extra margin to the top of the section view. You did that, Paul?
Yeah.
It's also a work in progress in a way that, like, we want to have like some sort of a gradient backdrop in the future, and like having the ability to have more margin at the top will allow you to show that, show that more clearly, so that you can see the backdrop and not have it covered in cuts.
Can you show that, by the way, Paul?
Yeah, I can show it.
See if this works. Yeah, if your screen works, though. Well, let's wait for a second. Yeah, it does. It does show. Go ahead.
Yeah. So if you go to edit mode, you can access to the view settings. And at the bottom, you now have an option to add additional space above. And it will just push the content. And basically, if you have a background and you want to see the top of your background at the top of your dashboard, you can just pull the content below. Yeah.
Nice.
I wondered why it was, but this makes sense.
Yeah.
But we don't have any default background for now. You have to deal with this tab, and you have to upload a good picture for it. But like it's very hard for now to find a good picture for it. Like
that is something we need to work on. I know Madalena wants to, so let's make that happen sometime
If
soon.
we just unlock our AI to generate pictures.
Oh, you could already.
And then you just template based on the state of your house and where you are.
I think you can use an image entity, right, Paul?
for background, I'm not sure.
No.
That would be interesting. Look at that. IDs being born live on stream. And now we have
I
to
think we
go
already
into it because
discussed
we
that
talked
point.
about it.
Yeah, we already talked about it, but we never did it. Maybe it will be a contribution or
Maybe a community contribution.
Yeah. Every picture entity should be in the media browser. That's what I'm going to say. That's it, right?
Yeah, that is already possible, I think.
Oh yeah, because you can select for media.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
So, in the meantime, while we were chatting, somebody showed up here.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi, and that might be a good segue actually, because Apollo Automation joined the Works with Home Assistant program this week, which was announced. So I'm kind of excited about it.
Yeah, this is really nice. They are, Apollo has been around the community for a while. They've been making, they make their devices using ESP Home, right? And so they've been working with the community, asking community, hey, what do you want to have? What kind of device would you like to have without just buying instead of building, right? And so people come up with different things. They've been building these, selling these. They've been very popular. Of course, they were part of the Made for ESP Home program, which means they are fully open source. You can tweak and design. You can do whatever you want with it. But now also they've made it to the Works with Home Assistant program, which is a higher bar, right? When we Made for ESP Home, it's for tinkerers. It's for people that are like playing with the devices. Works with Home Assistant. This is stuff that we want to make sure it works for like 10 years, doesn't burn your house down, these kind of things, right? So they had to get FCC ID, C certification, these kind of things. And they're in. So it's awesome. They're great.
They're the first ESP Home devices to make it into the Works with Home Assistant program, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
we're happy to have them. Yeah, seriously.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Should the voice P go into Works with Home Assistant program? No.
I don't know if it'll make it, guys. We got some rigorous requirements.
But yeah,
the requirements are pretty tough, though.
Go check them out. And if there's a certain type of sensors you want, you just go to the Discord and spam them, and maybe they'll do it.
That's actually a good point. I should try and spam them about a sensor. Yeah. Okay. Wow. All right. The edit area dialog has been improved and compacted. So thank you for that, JP, as well. JP has been on fire in the front end, actually. By the way, thank you so much for being there.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. Although we miss you in the back end as well. just saying.
A lot of the new front end and dashboard things are possible thanks to JP. And we definitely would love more front end contributors too.
Definitely. We now have a device class for wind direction, which by itself doesn't sound that exciting, but we're working on something to improve our long-term statistics for wind direction. So to explain this a little bit better, wind direction works from 0 to 360 degrees, right? And so it's a circle. Right now with long-term statistics, we calculate the average, and that's where the problem is. So if your wind direction would be between 350 degrees and 10 degrees all day, right? then the average right now would be 180 at the end of the day, which makes no sense. That's the wrong direction. So that's broken. And we are working on fixing that. In order to do that, we have the wind direction device class, so we know the difference and then can calculate the long-term statistic correctly in the next, hopefully the next release.
Yeah. This is the kind of things that you might not consider that we are spending our time on, but like there's so many of these tiny details where you're like, oh yeah, that doesn't make sense. Oh, we need to fix that. We need to. Yep. That's what we do.
Yep. Not a device class for energy distance, which can be used if you have an electric vehicle and you want to track their usage. So that's kind of nice. Media player now has a browse media action with a response, so you can actually like query your data, for example, like your recordings from your NVR or things like that. If you have a Reolink, for example, NVR, you can actually or the Reolink hub, you can actually ask for the recordings. Maybe use it with an LLM to analyze, or I don't know, whatever you like to do with those responses. So you can automate with that now. Pretty cool. And you can also get the configuration of the schedule helper if that's helpful for your automations, like to determine when the next time it goes off or something like that.
Sweet,
right? Then we're through this list now. So there's a few little things left. And one of them, I secretly hope that our friend Paul here might be able to demo. I'm not sure if you can, Paul. Do you have that? Yeah, sure. I saw already the screen. Here we go.
Yeah, for the graph, Peter has worked on a graph on a few releases before. Like I think it was later, the last release that we rework all the graph. And we had an issue with legend if you have too many device display, too many entity display. Like on this screen, I have many temperature sensor in each room. No, if you are more than 10 device, you have a plus button, and you can expand the legend to see all the sensor.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I would always kick away the legend because it was like 10 rows long or something and just like painful.
Yeah, in the last release we had the legend. When we switched this library, we had like a new way of displaying legend. So the first implementation is that we only limited to a very small amount of legends, and I think that was just maybe even just one or something. I forgot. But yeah, we got a lot of feedback for that, and it's true that a legend that is not visible will make the graph not very useful because you wouldn't know what line is what. So in this updated design, we make sure that the area for displaying legends is optimized by what the line graph is used for. So a line graph is useful for displaying up to maybe at most 8 or 10 lines. Usually, if you have more lines on that line graph, you shouldn't use a line graph, but that's up to you as well. But yeah, if you so in a way, this therefore we set the limit for now to be
10.
Essentially 10. So that is still compact for most users and manageable for those who really want to put 50 lines in a line graph.
So we got last release, we indeed changed the graph library. So we got tons of comments of people didn't like how the legend was shown, right? And we hope to address it this way. We did a bunch of iterations and also shared some of them with the community to get their opinion and feedback. So Martin did a good job there in trying to figure out a way how this can fit. But I believe there are some options in here too, right, Paul? I think there's a way to change the legend here. This is a dashboard graph, right? So you should be able to edit it.
I'm not sure.
Because you should be able to put it like always show. I think it's that one. My French is not the best.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we can. Maybe on history?
History graph, probably.
No.
Something
I'm
went
not
out
sure.
there, though.
My UI is in French.
No worries. We can all
Look
like
how
use it.
fast it just changes languages. Like, what a great app.
Yeah.
This is
I'm not sure we can. Yeah, I have to check, but I'm not sure.
I thought that in some iteration we had that you could place it on top or at least show all of them or not, but I'm not sure where that went.
There are definitely other designs that's created for how the legends should look.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we are still looking for feature parity as we switch over to the new graph engine. So make sure that every feature that you have previously is still usable and visible in this new library. But yeah, we had quite a few new proposals of what the legends can be and make it more
Yeah.
useful. And I would love to see those too.
These graphs are now already legendary, right? Kaboom. All right. Do you
Right.
have, by any chance, Paul, just guessing, also a demo that like has
Oh.
something to do with a map?
I'm not sure. To check, but I'm not sure I have it.
Otherwise, I think the demo has that too. I mean,
Does the demo work with that?
demo?
let me see. I mean, at least my demo has it.
The Home Assistant demo has entities, but the entities are not. Oh, maybe if you zoom out.
No,
Oh yeah.
zoom out
Yeah, I
enough
got
and
it.
it will work.
I got it.
Yeah, we can do it on the Home Assistant demo website.
If you share my screen, there you go. So
Ta-da.
if entities are now collapsed enough, like that they will overlap, that you wouldn't see what they was previously. Like, this comes actually 2 releases back, or last release, where if you were home, because we didn't have a solution for 2 entities that are overlapping, we would just not show the things that were home. But then people are like, well, my entity is not home. That's confusing. So we're like, okay, we're always going to show the entities that are at home. But of course, if 2 people were home, you would only see 1 batch. Not very useful. So then now we made this thing that if you zoom out and there's batches overlapping, they will now show as number, and you can click on it and it will zoom in and you see that nice little animation. Of course, if you zoom further in, you can see that they are in completely different spots.
Yep. And there's also a new button to turn on and off this feature too, which is underneath the plus minus.
Oh yeah. So now you can see that they're not getting grouped because they are not really on top of each other. And there's also a button just show everything. So
for the optimum size. Yep.
Beautiful.
Nice.
So Marcin had made a proposal for this and how it should work. And then this guy randomly jumped in. This is JP again, by the way. Thank you, JP. Yeah, we actually built this out. Like, that guy has been on fire.
That looks really good. All right. I'm just going to kick my screen out.
Awesome. So last but not least, actually, is the most thing we probably all don't like, but it's still there.
Backwards incompatible changes.
Backwards incompatible changes. Yes. So one thing to notice here is that automations and script is here on this list, and this is actually not as bad as it looks. Screen
is not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Yet.
I see it. Now it failed for me. And there it is. It's back.
Oh,
here we go. So one thing to notice, automations and scripts is on here, which isn't that scary. Don't worry, we're not going to break everything, but there is a weird buggy case we had that if you had, for example, a parallel sequence or an await variable, then those wouldn't always bubble up in their responses. if there was an action where the responses run into in a parallel sequence, then it wouldn't bubble up. Like that has been fixed. It has been an annoyance. It's kind of nice, but if you have in some weird way worked around that or something, then you might experience something. But I'm pretty sure almost nobody will be affected by this. But this is more for completion, right?
How does the parallel one work? Is the race condition? As in, like the first one to set the variable is the one, or the first one to finish propagates up. Probably the latter. Huh? This is why this stuff is hard, by the way, right? Like this
parallel is basically something. If you use it, you shouldn't be actually. You're on your own. No, but it has a lot of warnings in the documentation, by the way. So parallel is definitely one that has a lot of caveats to look for.
Yep.
Home Connect. There's some small changes in here. SmartThings as well. A lot of changes in SmartThings, by the way, which you should look out for. So the thing with SmartThings is because it has such a large change in modernization, it also added translation support to all the states. So if you previously relied on states being a certain state, they are now like lowercase, for example. Be sure to check your automations, but there's so much change in SmartThings, everything SmartThings related. You should definitely check out and see if everything is working as released. Proximity is kind of nice. I actually like this change. Distance is now measured to the edge of the circle, right? The area you're made. What's it called? The radius.
Radius.
Radius. Yes. So because of the edge, instead of the center, which kind of makes sense. If you have a large zone, like let's say 2 kilometers, because you want to track I don't know what, then that makes a huge difference, because you want to know when you enter the zone and not where you're in the middle of the zone, right? And this is actually a good change. But it could affect you, so it's there. Yeah,
it's there.
It's there. Otherwise, not much that already hasn't been informed and deprecated. So, but definitely take a look if you are in this list. And with that, I'm going to scroll up. We're there.
Nice. Yeah. That was a good release. It's a big one.
It is a big one. It's such a nice feature filled. In this top, I already also listed chapter 9 in case you missed that. We did a live stream. We had some cool stuff there. Definitely check that out. Apollo, we talked about. They're still here. Hi. And today we also talked about Music Assistant.
Yes, this is a big one for 2 reasons. One is, there's multiple reasons. The whole blog post is awesome, but the 2 things I want to highlight is that it added support for music sources. So previously it had music libraries as input, and so you pick your songs, and then those songs are being played over whatever speaker you want. And for the people that are not familiar with Music Assistant does what Home Assistant does for the smart home, but for music. So all your music services, local, Spotify, Apple, whatever, all in one place, streamed onto any smart speaker that you have. So any speaker that can play a URL can now have Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all just mixed up. 2 cool new features that came in. One is Spotify Connect. So now in the Spotify app, you can just say, play my Spotify on Music Assistant, and it can start playing over your speaker. So really, really nice. The other feature is that Music Assistant is now tailored to the Voice PE or any ESP Home-based media player. Like Kevin has done a lot of work on ESP Home to make the media player as smooth and good as possible. Music Assistant will now pick the optimal bitrate and encodec just to make sure the highest possible audio quality comes out of these boxes, right? So you can now also, if you have Spotify, you can just listen to music. And so you can listen as an aux port, as you might know. So connect a nice speaker to it. And all of a sudden you have voice, music, Spotify, everything in a room. So very nice.
The list of providers actually got really huge. I haven't looked in a while.
There's
really quite a lot in here.
Yeah, it is amazing how, with the Voice PE and Music Assistant, I think we are slowly getting to feature parity to most other voice assistants out there. Like we got timers, which is one of the things most people use for voice assistant,
Oh.
and now with music. And you can also do LLM, so you can totally ask like random questions like, "What's that song with Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars?" And it will just figure it out for you.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
the thing is, we have feature parity, but it's still assemble yourself, right? I think that's. I was talking with
Flip.
JLO today. We are gonna in the future we might want to do the iteration of just making music work out of the box as well. Like you set up your voice PE and you get music assistant, everything just works around it.
Yep. Yeah. Right now, you still need to
Oh.
install all these things individually to get there. So.
Yeah.
Podcast. I should like maybe reconsider
Oh yeah,
adding it
podcast.
again. Podcast in here, like
to add support for podcasts and audiobooks. The music assistant team, they had to start keeping track of the progress, of course, because you can't just with songs it doesn't really matter, right? But like with audiobooks or podcasts, it has to be exactly where you left off. So that's all possible.
That supports chapters, as it seems. So that's cool.
Right.
That's very
No,
cool.
they spend a lot of time on their UI. They have like native apps. They register as media players on your so that they show up on your watches and phones and all that stuff. It's like if you want the best thing, if you want the best thing for your music, you get Music Assistant. You want the best thing for your smart home, you get Home Assistant. You see a theme, right? You get
something with assistant. Not always. Doesn't always fly. Missy is always shaking her head. No, that doesn't always fly. No.
You guys saw the robot that was being pitched as a home assistant, right? And I'm like, no, SEO tiers. They're all just gonna cry if you call that a home assistant.
Hey, but if we have a couple more minutes, Frank, I wanna. I have my playground add-on that I've been working on that I want to show to the world. It doesn't work well enough for us to pull it into Home Assistant, but I'm very it works very nicely.
Sorry.
So can somebody share my screen?
Yeah, sure. Here we
go. So this is Home Assistant.
What have you been building?
By the way,
looks exactly the same as our dashboard.
Yes, this is fun. By the way, this is a clock card that I had made with ChatGPT. It's actually just a JavaScript bookmarklet in an iframe URL. My screen sharing is not okay, but but it made me realize, Marlena, we should have a clock card.
So I'm somebody's working on that.
Yeah. No, so we've always had this, we've been working with LVGL at ESP Home, making it easier to load images, show stuff on screens. And so we've been toying with this idea for years now. We just want all these cool dashboards that people are building inside Home Assistant. We just want to show them in other places, right? If you just have ESP Home show, we have those S3 boxes. Can we just not show a little bit dashboard on there, like 2 tile cards or whatever? And so I made a little add-on while I was in a plane, and I'm actually publishing it today. It works so that's why I'm caveat. But what you can do is that what you're looking at now is a screenshot. So I created an add-on that all that it does is that you send it a path to your Home Assistant instance. You say what kind of pixel dimensions you will, and it will make a screenshot. And it takes around 10 seconds. The Home Assistant green is not so fast. If you've loaded the browser already, it will take 5 seconds. So you can see here actually that I didn't wait long enough, so the icons haven't loaded yet, right? So now I did a refresh. You can see that even my iframe wasn't loaded yet. So you run this on your Intel NUC, it will fly, right? So now you can see that actually with a warmed up cache, it will work. And so now it's around 4.5, 5 seconds per screenshot. That includes 1.5 second waiting time until icons are loaded. What can you do with this? Well, anywhere where you can include a picture locally, you could now build a dashboard to show in that place. And so, so that can be anything, right? I'm thinking e-ink screens myself.
Yeah.
You can just change the number of pixels that you want to have space. So now I'm making a screenshot 500 by 500 pixels, and you can see it goes to a single column, right? So you can just whatever you need for your device, whatever pixels you want, you can make a screenshot that it works. And if you want to change what's on the screenshot, you just go into Home Assistant, you can install custom cards, you can edit stuff. So yeah, I wanted to just show that. We're not putting it in Home Assistant because it's not ready for any prime time. Like, unless we can work it reliably on a Raspberry Pi Home Assistant Green, I don't think it would make sense to include it. But yeah.
Check demo so far.
Yeah. And it's just an add-on, right? So it's just an add-on that you install on the Home Assistant. And then on port 10,000, it will just host this server where you can go to. So if you go to github.com/Baloop Home Assistant add-ons, it has a button. I made a button. So
My button.
JLo, the my button. JLo was like, it's a not two-way, right? It's
Correct.
just one way. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You,
If
you can
want to-
you have to record the position of the finger when you tap on it, and you do the action.
yeah,
and you regenerate a screenshot.
Yep.
So
Oh,
if you
see?
want two ways, Patar, he works full-time at Nabokasa on Home Assistant. He's also the creator of the Sankey chart and is my personal add-on inspiration. He made an add-on that is called VNC Web Browser, which did not work at all on a Green. But literally what it does is that it opens Chrome in a VNC server, and now you just, any old tablet that doesn't even run the Home Assistant app or whatever anymore, there's a VNC app. So then you can just log in with your normal computer to log into the right page and whatever. And then with VNC, your clicks will go back. So this is another highly recommended one, the HA VNC web browser.
Exactly, Timo.
I actually just responded saying, wait until I'm done with my project. I can let you know how easy it is going forward.
So
I want to highlight a little bit this one, though it's a little bit sidetracking, but the Sankey kite rocks. It does.
Yes.
And we're actually working on getting our Petar is actually working on getting it into Home Assistant by default, like an actual card. So looking forward to that one. A little bit of a sidetrack, but still interesting.
Yeah, for the people, this is what a Sankey is, right? You show all the things that are coming in and how they get redivided again. Great for energy, great for internet or these kind of things.
Switches.
Yeah.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I never thought about that one.
Switches, yeah. Good. That was my quick sidetracked demo thing. Energy dashboard, Misha. Yes, we are getting the Sankey into the energy dashboard for sure. That's people are saying whatever. Mind freeze is that's you just github.com and then I don't know where do you and then mind freeze.
Just look for the Sankey card and you will definitely find it in Google. It will probably the first result. It's used a lot by the community. It's great.
Okay, we have a good question here. What's next up on the roadmap? What state of the open home?
Yeah.
On April 12th, 2025. Saturday, right? Saturday.
Yeah.
We will be showing our this year's new roadmap.
Yeah.
So
our roadmaps, they run from April to April.
The last roadmap that was announced in the last day of the open home.
Yeah. So that's I'm looking forward to this road. I mean, look, every roadmap is fun because in a way it gives you like a sneak peek of the whole year. On the other hand, of course, you never know what's actually coming out of these things, right?
Mm-hmm. Like we know what the big problems we are going to solve, but how we're going to exactly solve it is still a fun mystery to be figured out.
Definitely tune in on the 12th. That will be very interesting.
Yes.
Hey, Paulus, since we are true Dutch people, right? I just want to say, like, they are shouting out, but we're celebrating joining Works with Homes by eating French fries with mayonnaise. I hope you drown them in them, right? That's the Dutch way. So, yeah.
That's good. You know, my kids, because we live in Brooklyn, right? And my kids, they're ketchup kids. They don't like mayo on their fries. I give them always a good example, but
They're
You have to be
uncultured. You need to
charmed.
fix that, Paul.
They need to drown in it.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All thanks to you, J-Lo, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah. JLo worked really hard on a lot of this, even though he's just sitting in our chat shit posting today.
Also good. Also good.
Also
All
good,
right.
absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. It's a wrap. And we're on the 2-hour marker. So that's actually perfect. And
Perfect.
with that, thank you for watching.
Thank you,
Thanks for
everyone.
tuning in. Hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, the thumbs up. I don't know what else is here. Oh, and yeah, that one. And also
And subscribe to Home Assistant Cloud.
Casa.
Support our work. I mean, if you're still watching after 2 hours of us, then you should definitely support our work. Like, let's be honest. So
definitely.
Yeah.
Also, after this live stream, we are going into our community Discord server. There's a stage in there. I'm not sure. Is it the community stage, Missy? I always forget the exact
It's
title.
called the community,
The community stage.
Yeah.
You can go in there. We will hang out there for a bit. You can join up stage and ask us questions or whatever subject. We will just sit there and have a little bit of fun for a little bit and talk about whatever else is in the smart home. So hopefully see you on that end. And with that, I'm going to say till next month.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.